Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls 2 and to probably the last episode for this particular run right here. Only the Throne of Want is left, but at the beginning of the game, or one of the first episodes, I said that I wanted to have a look at Majula once more once we got all the NPCs. And I think we have all the NPCs right now, so let's see how many there are. Because unlike Dark Souls 1, in this game the NPCs actually stay at the hub area. They're not going away, unless you kill them or something. But let's see. Of course we have the Emerald Herald still standing here. Then, what's her name?
Oh,
I haven't talked to her yet.
I'm here. You even the only.
Let's just skip that. Rosabeth.
Be
right.
safe.
Rosabeth stands over here. This dude is over here. So how many NPCs are this already? 3. Then the blacksmith plus his daughter are 5 NPCs. Pretty nice. Melentia, I think her name is number 6. Did I count that correctly? And there should also be Corellian somewhere here. Yeah, Corellian. And oh no, okay, he tries to track the character's position with his head. I mean, it's fitting because he is also Rosabeth's teacher, so I thought he was looking towards her right now, but no, he's tracking the character. Then who else do we have? Of course we have Gilligan, I think is his name, the leathersmith. I mean, if you talk to him right here, you can tell him to put down some ladders, but that's hardly necessary now. Then the blacksmith here, or the armorsmith, whatever. That's not the blacksmith's over there. But he now is in his final form. He has 3 different forms. The one where he's very sad and depressed, then the mediocre one where he's like gaining some confidence, and now he's just overconfident and an asshole.
Sorry, have we met? Oh, sorry. It's just I've been awfully busy lately. Care to look over my wares? Please, be my guest. I upgraded my stock recently, although it may be a bit out of your reach.
Wow. But yeah, here you can buy all the boss armors now. I guess we could have done that earlier, but that doesn't matter.
Are you sure?
Yeah, goodbye. Then Shalquois still in her whatever hut here. Where is she this time? Sitting on the chair. And of course the cartographer, I think. I could swear I opened this once. It should be down here. No, he is not. I guess I had to open this before. Did I even clear the basement? No, I did not. I guess that's the reason. I think you need to clear the basement for that, but that's not important. This map is this is kinda strange, because it's supposed to show you where all the bosses are, I think. Or something, I have no idea. Like, I don't even know where what is. Like, where's Majula? Is this Majula over here? It makes no sense, does it? Who cares? Like, the map, it's... I don't know what they thought when they made it. Like, the map doesn't look like how this game feels right now. Doesn't feel at all that way. But yeah, this is Majula now. And I quite like it that way. In Firelink Shrine, the NPCs were more mobile, which kinda sometimes might screw you over if you want to have something. And this is definitely more convenient, even though the NPCs in Dark Souls 1 feel more realistic, because they are traveling. Where do I need to go now? Forgotten Chamber, is it this one? King's Gate, I think so, right here. For the final boss rush. Because usually, I mean, I say final boss rush, there are 3 bosses now. Technically 4, but one is a dual boss fight behind this door. Open up. And let's have a look what's underneath the castle. And the problem is now, I can only talk about that upcoming area once I've killed all the bosses. Now, of course, we have her here.
My journey is already complete. My name is Shanalot. The dragon gave me this name, for I was born with none. I was born of dragons, contrived by men. By ones who would cozen fate herself. They are the ones who created me. But they failed. I did not come out as intended. Fate would not be bested, and men were cursed once again. If you proceed, Nashandra will come after you, knowing that you will take the throne and link the fire. She covets the first flame and the great soul. Put Nashandra to rest.
Okay. So I guess she was created to stop the cycle, but she failed. Or didn't work, whatever. Throne of Wand. Quite the difference between the final area of Dark Souls and this one's. While in Dark Souls you went through some kind of portal. If you remember the staircase with the burned, what are they called, Black Knights, wandering through as ghosts through the fog. Like the staircase linking 2 worlds. Because there is no way that, what's it called? The kiln of the first flame is underneath Firelink Shrine in some kind of direction. It makes no sense, so it's some kind of portal. But here, this area is truly underneath Drangleic Castle. Which is, I mean, it definitely looks epic. That's for sure. Like this long ass path. But yeah, it's quite different from Dark Souls 1's ending. And it's also quite different from Dark Souls 3's ending, but Dark Souls 3 is another story. We're going to start this story after this one, I guess. So what even does it look like? It's quite dark down here. But I think this is supposed to mimic the way the kiln of the first flame building looked like. At least somewhat similar. We have this round shape as well. Holy shit, that's deep. I wonder if this is supposed to be solid ground down there or whatever. So let's see who we can summon here. We can summon Head of Vengal, even though it's not just his head, it's his whole body. So I guess you could just call him Vengal. Then Bradley of the Old Guard, and we... oh, wrong button. And we also have Benhart here. So I just assume that Bradley is going to be the most useful NPC here, because he's of a newer generation, I would call it. The other ones are like, yeah, the old character models and with even worse AI. I would like to test out if these can at least beat the first boss, but nah. Nah. And it's quite small. This room is very, very small. But here you can already see what I mean. This is just ridiculous. If you remember what I said about the memories during the memory episode, then you know what's to come. I'm going to heavily dislike this area here, because the whole plot is kinda wonky. And the delivery as well. But first, let's get rid of these two clowns. Who are they even? They're called Throne Watcher and Defender. And I'm just missing. Yeah, they can buff their weapons. Good. I wonder where his shield is gone now. The Throne Defender's armor, the one that is kneeling right now, kind of reminds me of Bellstadt's armor. It's fairly similar. But yeah, they have this annoying we can revive each other mechanic. No, Brady, you're not done yet. There's more to come. This stupid effect.
Brave undead, you have proven yourself to me.
And this is what Nashandra looks in her natural form. I feel like they kinda missed the point with her, because she's supposed to be a part of Manus, and this is nothing what Manus looks like. And honestly, her head is kinda ugly.
Be one with the dark.
I'm not really a fan of the bone aesthetic. That feels more like Nito's domain. But she also has this, what's his name, Giga, I don't know his other names, like, something Giga vibes, like the design. Looks kinda similar to the alien design as well. Pretty cool, to be honest. Like, her design is cool, it just doesn't feel, it just doesn't feel like, or she doesn't feel like a that she is a fragment of Manus. She kind of looks like she's part of Nito's followers or something. Even though she's using dark magic, but I mean, I guess the same thing can be said about the other parts of Manus, like the other queens. The one in the first DLC looked also like a bony or more zombie-like version. Like she had this reddish, rotting flesh. Then who else do we have? I don't know what they are called. Who's Nadalia and who is oh, okay, Ilana was the one that looks like a corpse, first DLC. Then we have... Oh, I've used the souls, right? Brady, you're doing it. I believe in you. And what else? Where the... This one is... Elzana, Elana, and who's the final one? Kinda hard to remember these A names. And this one is called Natalia. It's not an A name, I guess. And then we have Nashandra. Which, I don't know, I've already said they resemble some kind of, not necessarily emotions, urges or something, whatever. Like she's want, for example. Like she's greed, so to speak. She wants everything. She wants the throne. And then I guess the last one in Leon Lois was like fear. The fear of madness. What the other ones are, I have no idea. They didn't really... I don't know, it didn't came across really well. I mean, the only thing they really did well is Nashandra, I feel like. The other ones are like... You could show them to me and I had no idea what they would resemble. With Nashandra it's a bit different. But back to her design, I guess you can make some kind of resemblance to what her role is supposed to be, like to want, or to greed, or whatever you want to call it. Like the ambition to want to have everything, to want to have power, to want to have whatever. I guess you can see it in her dress as well. Like with all these skeletons that she seemingly absorbed. They're not now part of her. But I don't know, I feel like they still miss the design concept. In my opinion, they should have just made them look a bit more like Manus. Like this primal, almost monkey, like Manus is a monkey. He was always a monkey to me. A monkey with a strange growths on his head, with eyes in them. And then one big hand, of course.
Have come and gone.
And the next
One
one.
drowned in poison, another succumbed to flame. Still another slumbers in the realm of ice. Not one of them stood here. As you do now. You, conqueror of adversities. Give us your answer.
And the final fight starts now. And this is very exhausting when you go in here like me at the last possible time, because then you have to fight 3 bosses back to back. Of course, once one boss dies, it counts as a checkpoint. You don't need to fight the previous ones again. Because what you can do is you can get here early and just fight the Throne Watcher and Defender. And then later on... This is actually something they made pretty well. Where Nashandra has basically 2 ways of appearing, I think. I think there are only 2, right? Like the one where she comes through the door. Right? Like the first part. And then the other time when you kill the Watcher and the Defender first, and then come back later once you have the necessary items, then Nashandra waits here in this room already. But yeah, that's enough about Nashandra. Let's talk a bit about this abomination. I mean, sure, of course we are fighting him now, like... The player always wants to fight everything. But it kind of feels weird, like this feels like the final test. This doesn't feel like something that Nashandra wanted. Like Nashandra wanted to take the easy route, right? Someone else gathers all the stuff, she grabs it at the end. That's what she wanted. But Aldia over here is a bit different, or feels a bit different, because it feels like he no longer desires this. Like, I don't think he wanted the throne to begin with, like he wanted to stop the cycle, if I remember correctly. Might be wrong there, I'm not a lore guy, so... But he feels more like a final test of strength, or of resolve. And the music is also kind of reflecting that. It feels more like the music sounds more tragic. And I mean, Aldia can be seen as a tragic figure. Because look at him. Like, he's basically just a wandering tree thing. The reason why he is that burning tree now is kinda up for debate, I guess. Oh yeah, let's see. Here's some interesting mechanics. And some cool looking attacks. Hey. No. How is this way here? Aldia's Skull of the First Sin. So, in this form, where he's burning, his defenses are heightened. As you can see, this deals quite a lot of damage. Once the flames are back, doesn't deal as much damage anymore. And of course, because he's this tree abomination now, he's using all these tree attacks. What I kind of wish was, like, if you have a look at the VFX of these spells, or in general, like, I mean, the fire parts are fine, I guess. But it's also this blackish flame, which kind of looks like it should deal like partially physical and fire damage. But if we have a look at his tree attacks, especially the one where there are multiple eruptions. Can you do that once more? Yeah. Not this one, the other one. I guess these tree effects. I kind of wish, like, these tendrils, instead of just turning down the opacity once the effect is over, I kind of wish, like, they would retract into the ground. That would be kind of... would look definitely better, in my opinion. Like, look how they disappear. They just vanish. Which, doesn't look as good, to be honest. His flames look awfully... like his flame attacks look like the ones from the Fire DLC. With the blackish flame. But yeah, let's get rid of him. Same effect as killing all the crown DLC bosses. There's this glowing.
I lost everything and remain here patiently. The throne will certainly receive you. But the question remains. What do you want? Tell me. Light, dark, or something else entirely?
And now we have the two options. But let's talk about this location first. This location, because it quite, like... This is the Throne of Want. This is basically the kiln reduced to one small chamber. Which is eh, like the killing of the first flame definitely looked more epic than that thing. Like, look at it. It's small. It looks almost insignificant. Like, I kind of feel like they missed the mark with that. And then the other thing. Like, first of all, what do we need? Like, what do we need in order to get there? Because, as you can see, we have this darkness, right? This pure pitch black darkness down here. And if you have a look at these golems, they're not standing on the darkness. So it's some kind of substance, I guess. It kind of feels like the abyss, just like a non-consuming abyss almost. Like if you remember the abyss from Dark Souls 1's DLC, it was this bluish purplish sludge almost. And here it's just black. So it lets me think maybe this is something different. And also the abyss usually is consuming. It's like this creeping cancer. And this is nothing like it. This is just a black soup. Or not even a soup, it's just a black floor, I guess. Not even a fog, it's no effect, it's just black. Which makes it almost even more unsettling. So we can't just go over there. We needed something from the memories, if you remember. And we needed the giant's kinship. So that these, like if you remember back, I think we heard it in some dialogues, maybe, like the king, at some point, because Chandra wanted it, and he was like, okay, honey, like she wanted that Vendrick invades the land of the giants. So he did. And he brought something back. Something that allowed this kingdom to build these golems. And if you know what these golems are, usually, in the rest of the castle at least, they are powered by souls, and they're basically machines, right? Golems. You can power them with some kind of energy, in this case I guess souls, or in this case with, where is it? No, wrong side, with the giant's kinship. You can control these golems. Wow. Like, why not just build a bridge over there? Why do we need golems for that? Because I will use this ending. Or do I need to use the other ending? I kind of want to go out of here. Because if you remember in Dark Souls 1, you had like two choices. Like, lit yourself on fire and basically do everything again, like usher in the age of fire, and then at some point it becomes dark again. Like someone else needs to burn themselves. Or you can go out and become the Lord of Dark, or whatever, like usher in the age of men, like the age of the furtive pygmy, like the human race, basically. But here it kind of feels like a bit different, because here it feels like taking this choice, like for me, taking the Throne of Wand doesn't mean necessarily that you burn yourself. It means that you can at some point decide what to do. It is now your choice what to do, like light or dark. Kind of feels like it to me, because you don't see your character lighting themselves on fire. You're just going in the kiln, or in this igloo, made out of ash, I guess. This tiny thing. You're sitting down and the door is closing. There's no fire, nothing. So, for me, this one choice here, resembles both choices from Dark Souls 1. And as Alia said, or take a completely different choice, like maybe something completely different. Like maybe try and get rid of the curse, or see what happens, or wander the world, whatever. And for me that resembles the choice of rejecting the Throne of Wand, rejecting the idea of having a cycle. Like, because when you let the fire go out, eventually there's going to be another fire. Eventually, at some point. But if you go there, you can do maybe something else, maybe research, maybe whatever. And I kind of like this ending more. But if we compare now Dark Souls 1 with Dark Souls 2, like Dark Souls 2 is more of a personal story, and not like Dark Souls 1, where like Dark Souls 1 is this like it kind of feels like you're just a pawn in this world, and the story is much more the world, if it makes sense. And this game feels more like your journey, or the player character's journey. And it's kind of reflected like that, because here you really have like Throne of Wand, for me at least, resembles like Age of Light or Age of Dark, or going out of here and rejecting the Throne of Wand means like something entirely different, like Alia said. But yeah, the plot is kind of washy. Like, I like the idea of having Nashandra as the final boss fight, or almost the final boss fight, because Alia had to step in. She was previously, before the DLCs, the first boss fight. The last one, I mean, not the first. But yeah, it kind of feels wonky. Especially the one with the, you need to go into the memories in order to get this one item so that you can form this bridge. Can I not just drag Lettersmith Gilligan or whatever his name is and like put a long ladder across this chasm, and I just gently and very carefully make my way across the ladder over there? I can easily do that. Why do I need to use this weird dragon magic in order to visit the memories? I don't know, it feels weird. But yeah, let's go out of here, because I want to see that ending. Like, I've described this part with the forming a bridge, whatever. I want to see this, because I want to hear the dialogue, if there is any. Or the monologue, I guess. The narration. If there is any narration. Let's see what happens. Ooh, more fire.
There is no path. Beyond the scope of light, beyond the reach of dark. What could possibly await us?
I guess we're traveling with Alia now.
And yet we seek it insatiably. Such is our fate.
Light or dark? Yeah, I prefer this one. I don't like being in a very small space and just sitting around until I light myself on fire or do nothing. Not boring. But yeah, This was Dark Souls 2. The design of Dark Souls 2 from a world and level design perspective. There was definitely, even though I really like this game, like, it was my, or maybe is my most played Souls game, I think, just because the PvP was so good. And during the time this game came out, I was really into PvP and multiplayer, so I played it a lot. Nowadays, like, I'm currently not playing Elden Ring privately because I don't find the multiplayer in there to, like, I have not that much fun playing the multiplayer there. And Dark Souls 3 and downward, like, nah, these games are, like, for me it's over with these games, really. Like, maybe at some point I'm replaying them, but I'm never going back to the multiplayer aspect of these games, especially not the PvP one. Dark Souls 1 PvP was oof, don't like it at all. Dark Souls 2 in my opinion had the best PvP. Of course I've played a lot of Dark Souls 3 PvP as well, even though during that time I felt like Dark Souls 2 still had the better PvP. It's more slowly and methodical PvP. Dark Souls 3 is a bit more hectic, a bit faster, like quite a bit faster. But yeah, after replaying and analyzing this game a bit more during this series here, I must say, holy shit, this is a piece of work. Like, there is, like, you can almost improve on everything fairly easily. And I don't want to call it quite weak, but it kind of feels quite weak now. But I guess I have to compare it to games during that time and stop comparing it to newer games, because of course with time comes more innovation and more techniques, more, like, you can definitely do more now than you could do back then. Like, the technical aspect is there now, and you can probably say that in a few years about this time, like, ooh, games back then were so simple, now they're all that complicated. I guess it's always that, but simple doesn't mean it's bad, right? And this game is definitely a bit more simpler and a bit more straightforward. Like, it feels more like a video game than a story, which is fine. The gameplay was okay, I guess. Some mistakes, some nice innovations, some things I even wish were in their next installments. Like in Dark Souls 3, there are a few missing parts that I wish they would just take from Dark Souls 2 and put it in Dark Souls 3, or even in Elden Ring now. But oh well. I guess I'm done with this game now. If I missed anything, then so be it. I guess that's part of the experience, missing stuff. Next project will be the design of Dark Souls 3. And definitely some design of Dragon's Dogma 2 as well. At least probably of a few locations of Dragon's Dogma, because I'm really hyped about that game. I don't know if you've noticed, but they just yesterday, at least for me, on the 8th, they, and not just for me, but in my time zone, it was yesterday. I'm recording this video on the 9th right now. So they released their character editor, where you can already create your character for Dragon's Dogma, or your pawn characters and pawns. So that if you so wish, you could just create the character now, and on the... like, how long is it now? Like 13 days or something, 12 days, whatever. You can just port them in and directly play. I'm definitely going to do that. Quite the nice idea, I must say. But yeah, that's it. Next game is going to be Dark Souls 3 with a bit of Dragon's Dogma sprinkled in, because I'm definitely not finishing Dark Souls 3 in like 3 episodes or so. But yeah, I hope you liked it. And I see you in Dark Souls 3, I think. Goodbye.